as a dating coach, how do you describe chemistry to a client?
I think chemistry a lot of times is a feeling that you get. And I teach my clients how to get more chemistry. And so a lot of guys come to me who are just very nice guys. And they say, you know, nice guys don't get the girl. You got to be mean and you got to be tougher. You got to build that chemistry. And it's true that you got to build the chemistry. But I think that nice guys really can win a lot of times. But they have to be authentically nice. And a lot of times nice guys get this bad rap. They're doing whatever somebody wants for them. So they're so nice. They're just people pleasing. But that's not them. They're not being authentic and real. And chemistry is built on being real. And if girl tells you, I like this food, you don't actually like it. Like, say you don't like it. Like, be that genuine person. That's what's going to spark that chemistry.
And it really does come with the being blisteringly honest or being authentic in that moment instead of just being a people pleaser and just doing what you think she's going to like, just being just like her. She doesn't want to be with herself. She wants to be with something she can align to.
And something she could be excited about. We want passion, right? We want something that we want to work towards. And if this guy's putting us on this pedestal, doing something for us all the time, constantly, it's nice, but there's nothing that we get excited about. We're not trying to get him, and we want to challenge too a little bit as well.
Pedestaling is still distance because you're putting someone, maybe it's a vertical distance, you know, you're putting someone above you, but you're still creating distance rather than being like, hey, we're both humans, we're both in this together and we want to have a mutually beneficial relationship. How do we both come into it with proper boundaries and authentic communication so that we can move forward together instead of she's basically trying to like perform at some point. Now she's on a stage almost and you've created this separation between you and her. And instead just how do you know, breaking down that gap.
If you're just being the nice guy, and when I say nice guy, I mean the guy who's just doing everything just to please the girl, he's not being real. And we feel like something is off. Like we're not connecting to you fully because we're not really getting to know you fully.
Safe.
Right. It just doesn't feel safe. And as women, like, you know, like we're taught always growing up, like, hey, you need to always be aware of your surroundings. Like, don't trust guys. Like, we're constantly on edge a little bit around men, especially when we first meet them. And so if something doesn't feel real, that's a red flag right there.
With regard to like a deployable, I'm thinking, okay, well, the takeaway is just be authentic. Now, the nice thing, though, about being nice is you can show I am a caring human. You really need to think about this as a guy. You just might not be the right person for this girl.
That's okay to not be the right guy. You can't go into a relationship with expectations. And, you know, it's interesting. When I meet my clients, they go out and, like, we would actually take them into the bar and teach them how to approach a girl. How do you start talking to them? And they would go in with all these expectations. And as soon as they see a beautiful girl, all of a sudden she's on this huge pedestal and they go in and they like her and they want her, and we feel that energy. And you know, when we, like I was saying before, we're taught from a young age too, we see you staring at us, we see you doing that, oh, I'm gonna talk to her, oh no, I'm not, it's not the right time, I walk away, or we see you glancing over at us constantly. We're aware of that. So if you see someone that you're interested in, you have to go, you approach, you have 3 seconds to make that decision, go right up and be that confident, nice guy. And like you were saying, it's great to be nice. Like, I love nice guys, but be actually nice. Don't be manipulative.
Right. It's authenticity. And it's really like we're binary beings. We swing from black or white. We swing from the macho jerk to the super nice guy who's really a coward because he's not willing to hold his own boundaries and confidence in his own wants and needs, to this guy who's just a manipulating, who we're afraid of, who's also unsafe. You know, the U shape, when you think about like politics, everything on these two ends of this big U are the extremes, and look how close they sit together, right? And so that's the macho jerk and the nice guy, and the place you're trying to get is somewhere in the middle of those two guys, where he's taking into consideration, I want to be kind, I don't want to be manipulative, but I also want to get what I want in life, and I don't, you know, I'm going to have boundaries, I'm going to have things that I desire. And so that's a question I have for you, Cher, is what is the work you ask your clients to do, or maybe it's like you're pulling it out of them to figure out exactly what they want in a significant other, in a romantic relationship? Because I think that's something people aren't doing.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it's so true. First come in, kind of write a list. And I know lists sometimes people feel is silly, but you really need to know what it is that you're looking for. Because if you want somebody who cooks, like, you might not want to go to a bar to meet them. Maybe you go to a cooking class to meet them. If you know what it is that you're looking for, you can surround yourself and with people who have that same desire as you, and you can meet that person a lot easier. It's a lot harder just to go to the bar or the nightclub and just throw a dart, right? Yeah. But if you go to a class, like a cooking class, or you're really into sports, go to a game or a sporting arena, you're going to find someone there who has a similar interest as you. So I think knowing what you want, like you were just saying, Mercedes, is so important.
But also, and as you say this, I'm absolutely right. I've got friends of mine that are females that are single, and I'm telling them, I'm like, you got to know where you want to be. If you're not into soccer at all, just don't go start going to soccer matches.
Right.
But you also have to understand that if you are going to, an all-female gym, right, you're probably not going to meet any guy. As a man, going to a sports bar, it's going to be a lot of other guys like you. But if you maybe decide, as a kid, I did like horseback riding. You go into a horse stable, you might be surprised.
Something you're really good at, too, accessing the chat. What can I be just slightly different enough from the rest of the population?
Yeah.
Like, what is something I can get an expertise on, even in a quick fashion? Like, maybe it's just taking a couple, horse riding classes or whatever it is, whatever your fancy is, entering that world and noticing what you pick up, what's the new sphere you're entering offering you.
Can you talk about how valuable attraction really is? Because I know as a guy, very visual, I have to be attracted to the person.
Physical beauty, I think, is some people think, oh, you're born with it or you're not. And it's really a talent as well. Like, we have an amazing makeup artist on set right now, because it is also a talent of figuring out what are the characteristics about you physically that you want to enhance and, beautify or spend time on and energy on. And maybe it's like the way you dress, or it's the smile that you realize is like your best feature on your face. So spend more time smiling, or, whatever it is.
For attraction, it's how you make the person feel. You can be not the most handsome guy or not the most beautiful girl, but if you spark attraction and you build that chemistry and you make them feel something, that attraction will grow.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've dated a guy who I literally was like, not my type, not interested. And then a couple days later, I'm like, oh my God, this is like, physically, I was like, no, nothing. And then we had a conversation that led me to realize that this is the most attracted I've ever been to a person.
Totally.
And that turned into physical attraction as well.
Right.
So it definitely doesn't have to go like physical attraction first and then everything else after.
Which is why I don't love online dating. I think it's a great way to meet people initially, but it's hard because you're going off of a picture. You're not getting to feel anything. So when you meet someone in person, even if you're not the cutest person in the world, like, you can build that attraction just by how you make them feel, that banter, that excitement. It's kind of just like going out to a grocery store. Everybody is nice, everyone's la-di-da, but if there's someone who like makes you excited, who does something to you that's different out of the norm, all of a sudden some sort of attraction is going to grow, or some sort of excitement is going to happen internally.
Their charisma is a contagious thing. Yeah. I think it's really easy for our audience to even think about right now is, what if you closed your eyes and thought about, I don't know, close people in your life, like whoever the maybe top 3 people you're close to in your life, how do you energetically feel around them? Because that's the attraction that you're feeling with anybody who walks in the room, whether they're super hot or whatever that means to you or not. You can basically build that up, or you can see that part of them and then go like, ooh, let me focus more on that feeling than that feeling on that feeling, instead of their boobs are big and that inspires a feeling. That doesn't last forever.
It's so true. Guys are very visual, but we change, right? Yeah. We take off all our makeup, we might look a little different. Like, then as we get older,
have babies. We age. Like, we want to be able to too, by the way.